Hello, hello. What's up, folks? How's everyone doing? I wanted to do a quick little live stream and just show you my process of choosing photos for a preview after the wedding. Since I've never really talked about this before and I needed to do it anyway. My room's a total mess. It's wedding season. I'm tired. I just finished a 7 wedding stretch, so 7 weddings in I think it was 6 weekends or something. So yeah, I'm tired. But welcome everyone. Thanks for hanging out. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at what I usually do. So I've already imported all my photos. I did that yesterday. And I have 2 sections here, and you can kind of see it here on the side. I shot the rehearsal dinner, and then you have the main day itself. As a side note, I actually shot the rehearsal dinner with my XT30, and these RAWs, this is my first time actually looking at the XT30 RAWs, but they look like they're more saturated or something. There's so much color. I'm like surprised at how much color there is on these photos. Or maybe I'm just crazy. It just seems like look how nice that. I mean, it is the preview. Here, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the XT30 is awesome. If you're looking for a small camera to do some easy little shoots, XT30 all the way. So I've gone ahead and imported my photos. And let me actually, I don't want my second shooter shots. So I'm just looking at my own stuff. And usually what I'll do is start by trying to pick some of the larger moments of the day, or like special times or anything that was important. Those are the photos I'm looking for. And sometimes I'll also add some details in there. So maybe like a flat lay like you're seeing here. I might throw one of those in there just to have it as a little taste. But mainly it's going to be stuff like getting ready shots, a couple portraits, maybe something else cool like this dress shot. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through these real quick. This was like, did Lightroom support Fuji RAW files? Yes, it does. They just updated recently too, so that they can support the XT30 files. Because at first they weren't supporting the XT30 files, which was mad annoying. But yeah, all the stuff you're seeing here is all Fujifilm. This is my XT3 on the wedding day, and then XT30 on the rehearsal dinner. This was the absolute worst shot to take. Oh, what's that? Because it was mad windy, and you see it's just on this little line. So when the wind would blow, the dress would like fly all the way down the line. It was like, and we were like, no. I do like this shot though, so I might throw that in there. So I marked it as 5, so hit it off with a 5-star. That way I can get to all my photos easier, and then usually I'll edit the photo real quick. And then again, I know you usually get questions, so these are my presets that I made. That's what I usually use for all my wedding stuff. Trying to get the exposure where I want it. Oh my goodness. This mouse I have double clicks by itself now. It's a Corsair mouse. I'm definitely going to switch this thing out because it's mad annoying. So yeah, there's a dress shot. Usually put that in there. Here's the groom getting ready. There's some decent shots in there, but I might not put one in this time. Here's all the groomsmen. More groomsmen photos. Here's some detail shots of the venue, which was awesome. It was at like a barn, but they did a lot of details and stuff. So the bride getting ready stuff is usually definitely in there for the preview. Obviously on wedding days, there's a lot of focus on the bride, so I try to get a bunch of different like getting ready shots in there. And in total, I'll probably usually pick around like 10 to 12 for a preview. So like this shot earlier with her and her mom, like stuff like this is really good to have in there. Still iffy on this white balance though. More getting ready shots. Here's a silhouette shot. First look with the bridesmaids. First look with dad. So we did the bride and groom reading letters to each other, which this may be a good shot to throw in. It's going to be rough. The lighting was pretty bad. So we had to work with what we could get, but I kind of like this one with her smiling. So yet again, mark it with a 5-star so I can get back to it easily. And then I edit it real quick. Yeah, this is gonna be the worst. Cause so on her side she had a window, so she has nice window light. But on his side there was like a lamp or a chandelier or something, and we couldn't turn it off. So he has just like light bulb light all on him. Yeah, look at that orange. Oh, his head. Oh my goodness. This white balance. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Let's see if I can paint some cooler. Where is it? Cooler plus. Oh, no sneeze. So whenever I paint in something like this, I usually like to go pretty heavy on whatever effect it is so I can really kind of see it. Obviously, if I press O, I could just, you know, see the overlay itself, but I like to just see what it looks like on the photo. Rather than when you do the overlay, you get the red to see where you're painting, but you can't really see like how it actually looks, which is usually my main concern. You can see like I may be able to pull that back even cooler. Yeah. Yeah, and I like to be drastic with it like that too. So see if we can get him matching her side a little bit better. And then now that I have that, I can match the whole photo a little bit better. Obviously, I could take the easy route and just black and white it. But that's the that's the photographer's cheap way of doing it. Like, oh, black and white, yeah. Oh yeah, there's the first look. So I'll definitely probably take a shot from that. Like this one here is nice. I like to try and keep my lines as straight as possible. For this one, I actually might throw a bridesmaid shot in there. That might be cool. Okay, this one works. She obviously doesn't like her double chin, which who does? So I was trying to get a shot where you couldn't see it as much. But I also wanted to be able to see this little girl here. Oh yeah, this is, y'all see, this is what everyone complains about with Lightroom. You see that worminess on the files? It's pretty like clear as day. For me, it hasn't really been a huge issue. Like, it's really not that bad. And my photos overall, when I'm done with them, end up looking okay, so I'm usually okay with it. But yeah, that is the reason why everyone uses Capture One. Because Lightroom and Fuji files do not like each other very well. Yeah, this works. So when I'm doing my white balance, I'm usually basing it off of skin tones. You'll always want to white balance off your skin tone. So like if their skin looks wonky, then your white balance is not where it needs to be. See if we can get rid of that thing because it's a little bit of an eyesore. There. You never would have known. So now I can go to attribute, pick 5 stars, and this will give me an idea of kind of what I've chosen so far. So you see, I have a couple pictures. I already kind of started the process, but once I do that, I can just kind of see here and be like, oh, cool, this is what I chose for like a preview. This white balance. No, that's probably fine. This shot right here is pretty awesome, but her hair is all over the place, so I may have to take it into Photoshop, see what I can do with it. Yeah, we're gonna have to take this into Photoshop. So usually when I go into Photoshop, I make all my changes first here, so that when I'm working on the file, I'm working on like a fully edited file. So after Photoshop, it's like done. Oops. Wow, the skin smooth is so heavy. Is that really what it looks like? Her hair's not so bad, but I feel like that's something she's gonna seem like, oh, the hair is in my face. This is with the good old 56. One of the best lenses. What am I doing? Edit in Photoshop. All right, so we wanna get up in here and see if I can remove this. So disclaimer right now, I am the worst with Photoshop. So please please don't hate me. The content aware fill is like so good. It sometimes isn't perfect, but like I just love how for the most part it can get you closer to where you want to be without much effort at all. Oops. But when you need more precision, it's clone stamp time. Oops, what'd I do? G-force, go away, you. That's not gonna work. Nope, that is way worse. I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I just can't tell if that's noticeable or if it's like because I edited it myself. I like know it's there. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can't even see that. All right, so what do I have so far? Usually what I'll do too is when I'm previewing everything, I'll use this survey mode. So I have 2 monitors, and usually what I'll do, especially if I'm not streaming, is the second monitor, I'll use this little second monitor option, and that will always have survey on it, so I can look at it over there and be like, oh cool, this is what I'm gonna do for my preview, and I can see all the photos there together, rather than it being like just a bunch of the photos. Also, I use it for fixing white balance and stuff, because I'm able to see all the photos together. So the ones that stand out too much are like obviously need to change a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I want to do a couple more of probably the bride and groom, and there's also his mom, I think, put on his boutonniere, so I'll probably throw that photo in there as well. There we go. Tighten this shot up a little bit. And then mom with boutonniere. Yep, here we go. I'm gonna have to get rid of that air conditioner, which is gonna be mad annoying, but we gotta do it. We gotta do it. I really don't want to. I think I was focusing on him. Yeah. That's fine. That's okay. All right, let's attempt it, I guess. I'm no good at this Photoshop stuff. That one's pretty rough. I might not be able to do it. I'm scared. Mom. Mom. Sometimes some of these suites, like the bride and groom suites at venues, I like cannot stand them. Stuff is just always located in the worst of places. And it just throws off the look of the room. Or like the room will be set up in a certain way where everything looks good in one direction. So when you go to shoot there, it's just like, oh yeah, they stuck a TV right there. And you're like, thanks. Oop, hold on. Okay, so far so good. We got rid of the cable. Now it's the actual air conditioning itself, which is gonna be the whole ordeal. Can you do it, Photoshop, without me having to... Can you just do it for me? Please, maybe, please, maybe. I mean, I guess that's an okay start. Yeah, I guess we can start from there. Maybe. Oh no, it's the worst. I hate this. I hate it all. Someone teach me how to use Photoshop. Make this pain end. Oh no. No. Yep, nope. Nope, sorry. No. I'm not gonna put y'all through that pain. Let's see if we can find one or two more shots. Oh yeah, the first kiss. Obviously the first kiss is a great photo to put in there for your preview. Oh my god, stop double clicking. So I'll mark that with a 5-star. Also, when they're walking out is usually a good photo. So like this one will work. Yeah. So sad. It was a clear day, like all day. We ended up getting clouds like for portraits, which was awesome, but I wish we would have had them for the actual ceremony, because you see this is pretty rough on the shadows. Pretty rough in the world of shadows. I need a new mouse. I cannot stand this. So we have that. We have first kiss. It's all family. See if there's another photo we want to grab in here, maybe. So Ernesto, the full frame Fuji, that was an April Fool's joke. Fujifilm is pretty 100% never gonna do full frame. Also, because they have APS-C and then they have their medium format, I feel like what they're doing is fine and it works well. So they're definitely not gonna do. They're not gonna do full frame. But for me, it's not a question about APS-C versus full frame. The Fuji does everything I need it and want it to. I love the way it works. I love its colors. So it's more about that than anything else. This is a good photo. We'll mark that. And I just was reminded by seeing these walking photos that I did a walking photo with them earlier. I might throw one of these little cute ones in there too. So we'll mark that with a 5-star. Yep, and then here are the walking shots. So yeah, when I do the walking shot, I usually I like to get the leg motion like that, so it really shows the motion in the photo. And then I usually try to have them as centered as possible. So like that right here to me is like the shot. You can tell he's moving forward. Obviously you can't really see her legs, but that's fine because he's kind of proving the motion. So this will definitely be in the preview. So I'm gonna pull up the exposure from them, but I'm also gonna put that graduated filter thing on it. Awesome, dude. Yeah, changing to Fuji would be awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the full frame thing was April Fool's because I forgot that it was April 1st, and I saw that video and I was like, Fuji full frame? Am I gonna switch? I'm gonna have to change. And I was like, oh wait, it's April 1st. I was like, man, why do you play with our hearts? Because yeah, Fuji full frame would be dope. Like, no questions. So let's throw this graduated filter on here with exposure. Crank up the clarity. And then get the exposure back in a place where it doesn't look like it's the apocalypse in the sky. Maybe turn up the blues. Actually, no, I don't like that. The sky is like too blue. It's like unrealistic with the rest of the shot. Awesome. Okay, so I think I have everything I want now for the preview. So I go back to attribute, pick 5 stars so I can see all the photos I have. And so now we have this one, which is overexposed. I messed up because I removed her hair, so now I gotta... And usually I'll cull my preview almost a little bit heavier so that I have options to choose from rather than just trying to choose only the photos that are going to be 100% for the preview. So like some of these probably won't get used. So let's see. We have... I'll definitely throw the dress shot in there. And probably the venue itself. This one with mom is good. The reading notes, I'll probably put the black and white in there. These two, this. And then these three maybe. So with that 11 photos, might put one extra one in there. I actually may take the bridesmaids out, but I'm not sure. Still kind of feeling it out, and obviously I need to edit this one. I have not edited it. Haven't edited it yet. Yeah, y'all, I cannot tell you how much I love my preset, and I'm not trying to like brag or promote or anything, but I mean, you're watching it right now. For the most part, if the white balance is on, I'm throwing my preset on there and turning up the exposure, and then I'm like, there it is. Photo done. Oh goodness, look at that. That guy Muck hit me with the $2. Thank you, my dude. That means so much. Oh, there's a little... Wow, look, there's a zombie running. I gotta change it. It's true when you buy Fuji, it comes with Capture One. Not that I know of, because I don't have Capture One. There may be, sometimes there's deals and stuff. I do know that, so you may have heard that from like a deal that they were running, because I do know that everyone says Fuji files are way better on Capture One. I haven't really dove into trying out Capture One just yet, but if I can get my presets in there, I'll definitely consider it pretty heavily, actually. Okay, so we have some details. We got mom stuff. We have reading notes. We have our epic wide shot. We got some kissing in there. We got right after the ceremony. I still don't like the white balance on this photo. I keep looking at it and being like, I'm doing my first outdoor photo shoot at a park. Any advice? So the first things that come to mind, obviously a lot of the time at parks, it's going to be based off of just what kind of shooting you like to do. But keep your mind open to anything you see. And don't be afraid to try stuff. Just always check in with the couple. Don't like suggest something without being like, hey, I'm thinking about doing X. Y'all want to go here? Obviously, if it's super sunny, find the shade. Always find the shade. And watch out for blotchy light. So, you know, when the light's coming through the leaves and stuff, you get like blotchy light on your people. Watch out for that. And other than that, be creative with your shots too. Like, don't always shoot close. Try to get shots kind of like this, like these wide environmental, because that really brings, like, you can see the area much better doing that. And now that I look at this, let me paint in some shadows. Because especially at the park, like half of the appeal of the park is the park itself. So make sure you're taking some shots where you can really see and feel the park. And it's not just like, here's a couple. Like, give me 1 second and I'm gonna pull up some of my older work. Especially the work when I was in New York. And it's just a lot of stuff where it's like at parks and things. Yeah, that's better. Background doesn't look devoid of life now. So let's see what I have. I don't have anything on here yet because I don't really have that many engagement shoots. Like this is kind of a decent example because this is at a park too. But after shooting in New York so much, whenever I see something industrial or cool, I usually gravitate towards it. So that's where I got this wall from. It's still in a park, but it's in the most random of places. And don't be afraid to find somewhere that like doesn't seem like a place to shoot. The biggest thing about photography is that, or in my opinion, one thing I like about it most is it's about taking things out of context. Just because it looks good over there, like one of my hugest pet peeves at weddings or just in general is guests always telling me to take pictures at certain places, because one thing you don't learn until you start doing more photography is just because it looks good to your eye does not mean it's going to look good in a photo. And you have to get that through your head that like just because it looks nice from here, what is it going to look like through my camera? So I'm usually finding stuff like this is a walkway up to some kind of like this place here. It's just like almost like a rooftop deck that lets you walk to the rest of the park. And this is like the side of the building. So there's a little walkway, and this area that they're in is not even a spot that anyone would go like at all. No one walks here. Do you know what I'm saying? And I saw it and I was like, this wall is dope. And all these plants will kind of frame them. So I was like, let's go right over here. So it's that kind of stuff, like think outside of the box, not just like, oh, it's a park, there's some trees. Like if you see something cool and it's accessible, definitely like don't be afraid to jump over there as long as your couple's cool with it. At what ISO the camera start making noise? So I'm fairly strict on myself about the noise. So for the XT3, in my opinion, once I start hitting like 1250, 1600, I don't like to go over that. I've done 32 before and it starts getting pretty rough. So Muck, this is what I was talking about earlier with the blotchy light. It works sometimes, but I really try not to do it. You just see all these like, you know, if you're gonna do it, you have to make it like a super intimate moment. Like make them go make out in the woods or something, you know what I mean? Then it kind of works because it's like they're hiding in the leaves so they can make out. Whoa. But if you were just shooting some normal portraits, yeah, I would not suggest ever doing this. It is very like, it doesn't really work that well. But yeah, you can tell like all these shots I'm finding somewhere where there's shade, where we can like kind of hide a little bit under something. And just always, yet again, think about the framing and how it looks. This is actually, yet again, taking things out of context. So it's hard to envision it. I wish I could show it to y'all, but so there was like a building and there's a walkway that we're going up. And right beside the walkway and beside the building, there's this like tropical looking kind of plant. And yet again, this is not on the path. This is nowhere no one would go into or walk. And the plant was kind of low, so you can see they're like in there. I think he's even ducking a little bit. So I had them get in there because yet again, the plants are framing them. And you would never know that this was just like, it was like a potted plant randomly on the side. So like, it's always that kind of thing. It's taking stuff out of context. You know what, Nicholas? I actually have not tried the eye autofocus too much. At most for weddings, I find it to be too much. And then on portraits, I'm not used to doing it yet, so I just don't use it. Because yeah, at weddings, the face detection is the worst. Because there's so many people, it just sees faces and it's like, focus, 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 focus. And you're like, stop, no. Just focus on the couple. Do you primarily only shoot weddings? Yeah, mainly. Weddings and engagements. I do family sometimes if someone like asks for it. I don't really do landscape. I don't know. I like, if there's not a person in my photo, I have a hard time actually. So what about camera settings for outdoor? Yeah, definitely don't leave it on auto. So for outdoors, luckily, especially if it's a sunnier day, you can throw your ISO like as low as possible. Light's not going to be an issue unless it's super cloudy. I typically, there's that rule about making your shutter speed faster than your focal length or whatever. So if you have a 50 mil, you need to at least be at like 60 or higher, like 1/60th of a second or whatever, so you don't get camera shake. So outside, I'm usually just throwing my shutter like as high as I need it to go. But yeah, low ISO. Don't be afraid to open up, but also do not be afraid to stop down. One of the biggest things I learned over the years is stopping down. So everyone's always like, you know, like with Canon, it's like, oh, you buy the 50 mil f1.2 and you, well, shoot it all the way open, and you're like missing focus all over the place. And you're like, why do I keep missing focus? It's because at 1.2, you gotta nail that focus. So honestly, stop down, especially if you're shooting wide. Like that shot, let's see if I probably didn't stop down. I'm like over here talking, I probably didn't, but oh no, I did. So that's a perfect example. So you see this wide shot here. Can I bring up the, yeah. So see, I stopped way down to 4.5. This lens it's the 14 mil 2.8. I'm at 4.5 because one off, when you're wide, you're not gonna get the blurry background. So there's really no point to shoot as wide as possible unless you need the light. Like it's literally pointless. Wide lenses don't get bokeh like that. So unless you're like real close to the person, and usually you're not shooting like that with a wide lens. So stop it down, especially if you have the light. Just like stop it down. Also, thanks Nick for the kind words about my work. Let me see if I can tighten this up a little bit. I can like tell that I painted it in around their heads and stuff. All right. So let's see again. I like these, this black and white. I want this pic with his mom, but that air conditioning is like killing my soul. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty decent preview. I'm just gonna do it. Let me paint in shadow save on them a little bit. Who are some of your favorite photographers? It's always the hardest question. So, I need to one-off study more photography history. So a lot of the photographers that I'm into are like newer people now. I would say definitely on the like total top of my list is Forged in the North. They're traveling wedding photographers. I love them with a passion, and I know them personally, like to a degree. They updated their site actually, so I haven't seen it since they updated it. It looks nice. But yeah, so Forged in the North is Ryan and Heidi right here. They like founded it, and then they have associates and things. They also recently switched to Fujifilm. But yeah, their stuff is so good. Ugh, I cannot. Every time I see their weddings, I'm like, ugh. Ugh. I just love the way they kind of tell their stories. Oh man, Muck, I can't take it. $10, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I have a video dropping today too, so y'all gonna get double videos. Just look at this. It's so good. They do a bunch of tilt shift stuff. Which I may make a video on it. I have a couple of adapters. So one's for Nikon, so I can put my old school film lenses from my Nikon film lens on my Fuji. So I have that one, and I have another one. They're basically the same thing. They're just like big rings. There's no autofocus. You have to manual focus everything. This other one's for Canon lenses, and I'm gonna get a tilt shift lens, I think, and try it on the X-T3 because there's nobody talking about it. Like, nobody at all talks about it. I don't know if it's just like impossible because it's full frame, so when you tilt it, it's gonna be wonky. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna try that out. But anyways, I think this is a pretty solid preview. The only thing I'm still having life issues, well, I'll probably throw this one in there too, is this picture with his mom. I'd really love to throw in there, but that stuff in the back is irking my soul. So let's go ahead and export this. So I usually put it in a folder called Sneak. I have all my weddings in one place, so 2019 weddings. I need a new folder for them because I just shot this wedding. So there's their new folder. Yep, and then I export, and it does not have sharpening built into it. So after I export, I go directly into exposure 4 and add my sharpening and grain that way. But yeah, man, Muck, definitely hang out for streams and things and throw some questions in there because, yet again, I really love answering questions and just sharing what I've learned over the years. Because, yet again, I'm not trying to say I'm #1 expert in photography, but I have been shooting for 5 years, so I wish I had people that I learned from more directly when I started. Because, like, if you've watched some of my videos, I talk about getting a mentor. And I got a mentor. I had been shooting for like 2 to 3 years already before I got a mentor. And the total switch in my style and just everything and approach and how I handled weddings drastically changed over the last year once I got a mentor. So having people to like kind of show you the ropes or tell you how they do things is a huge plus, and I should have taken advantage of it more. So here we are in exposure. So right now I have Lightroom usually do the sharpen for screen. So the photos have been sharpened a little bit, but it's not like a full sharpening. So what I'll do is select all my photos, and then in exposure 4, I have the sharpening and grain preset I made. Plop that on all my photos, and then go to my black and white. I have a black and white sharpening and grain because that's separate. I like my black and whites to be super grainy. So plop that on there. And then basically my photos are done. It's hard to see the sharpening, but the sharpening and exposure makes a huge difference. So now these are finished photos at this point. Is Lightroom still producing worms? Yes, it is. It's actually pretty bad too. I'm gonna get rid of this. That one strand is like the most annoying. So after I have all that in there, oh, you know what I'll do sometimes too? Exposure has really cool like bokeh features and stuff, so I can come in here and throw like a fake tilt shift on this photo. So you see they have presets, and I can be like, oh, give me a traditional lens, give me like a 50 mil at 5.6. And then add that kind of miniature tilt shift look to the photo. Maybe we'll open that up a little bit. There we go. And yeah, it's subtle, but it's nice to give it a little body. Add a little bit of tilt shift look to it. So I'll do that on a lot of my wide shots. So I'm gonna save that. Just gonna save those photos. While that's happening, let me show you the worms. The worms! Oh no. Okay. I can't remember what photo it was I was looking at earlier, but you can see it really well. I've noticed when your ISO is not that high, it's not so bad, but when your ISO gets higher, it's like really bad, and there's just like worms everywhere. But I don't know, like my final results are usually okay. Like it's not that big of a deal. There you go. Yeah, you can see it there. Worms! Worms! Look at that. It's pretty bad. Let's see if we can see it. Let's get closer. Yeah, look at that. But yeah, overall, in the grand scheme of the photo, I don't know, like when I'm done with them, it's not that bad. Let's remove that hair from that one photo and re-export it. So edit in Photoshop. Let's see if content aware fill will be my friend again. Look at that. So good. How do you get a mentor without them feeling you're stealing their business? So that's probably one of the harder parts. I got really lucky in having someone, and we kind of just mutually met, and he was looking for associates, and it worked. And his approach is different than most people. He really wanted to be able to train up other people. So the cute worms. So he's not really concerned about that. And also, like, I don't know, photographers who are concerned about people stealing their business, I don't know. Unless you're in like some kind of niche market or something, like especially wedding photography, bro, everybody's getting married. Everybody's getting married and they're getting divorced and they're getting remarried. Everybody's getting married. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's double the times of weddings because people getting divorced and married again. So like, to be like, oh, someone's going to steal my market share. My dude, how many humans live on the earth? How many people are in America? How many people are getting married? You know what I'm saying? So if you do like approach somebody and that's how they come at it, I would probably not work with them, because it's just like there's mad people getting married. You should not have any worries about someone stealing your work. Like, As long as they're not literally taking your photos, like, I don't see what the issue is. Like, at all. It literally makes no sense. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just approach people who you like their work. See if they're looking to try and mentor people. And I've said it in another video before, like, in my situation, he was looking for associates. So technically I do work for him. But because of the way he approaches his associates, he really wants to teach you, not just be like, hey, shoot this wedding for me and I'll pay you money. So it's harder to find a mentor like that. Like I said again, I've really lucked out. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how much I've lucked out with that. But that's what I would, you know, find someone who's genuine, who enjoys people and wants to help you for you, not only in it for themselves. Obviously, they get stuff from it, from their end, but that's not the only thing it should be about. What lenses do you typically use on a wedding day? So I shoot prime only, and I usually only bring 4 lenses with me. And then when I shoot, since I have 2 bodies, my left body is my tele and my right body is my wides. So I usually have the Fuji 14mm 2.8 for my super wide stuff and for my dancing stuff. So for dancing, it helps because I like to get out on the dance floor with everybody. So like for these photos, I'm like actually there with them. Like I'm basically 2 feet away from them. Like I'm literally dancing with everyone. So a wide is always good. I have the 23 f2. That's my general lens. That's pretty much the lens that's always on my wide camera, like always. Even like, what was this shot? Yeah, this shot was with the 23. So like the 23 is my go-to. On my tele side, I have the 35 f2, which is such a good lens. That lens is so sharp. I use it off and on. I use it mainly too for detail shots. So like all this stuff, because I like the amount of bokeh I get out of it since it's a longer lens. It always looks kind of nice on the detail shots. So 35 f2, and then my last lens is usually a flex. It's either the 56-1.2, which is a perfect lens. If you have a Fuji camera, get the 56-1.2, no questions. I'll usually use that for portraits or something. So what shot? Like these are all with the 56-1.2. Or if I'm at a wedding where the church is really like particular about where I can stand and where I can be, then I'll use my 90mm so that I can, you know, get back a little bit further, which I think I used my 90 in this wedding. So these first look shots here, not the wide ones, but the close ones like this, like his reaction and stuff, this is with the 90. To get that nice compressed blown out background. The 90 is an f2. And yeah, that's it. 4 lenses, that's it. Zooms are cool, and nothing against anything with zooms. I love my primes. They usually let in way more light, and when you have 2 bodies, switching between them it's really not that bad. You kind of start getting used to like when and where you should like switch your lenses, so it's really not bad at all. So I don't use a macro lens for rings. I don't really shoot my ring shots like that. But I do have an extension tube I use if I want to get closer. The 90mm I think is kind of macro, but usually I'll just shoot it with like the 35. So you'll see here, and I'm probably gonna do a video on my flat lays, but so I'll set up the flat lay like this. And I take my first wide shot, and I might crop in on this a little bit because this plant's just kind of see it's just chilling. I'll shoot my wide of the flat lay, and then I'll switch to my 35. So the wide is with the 23. Switch to my 35, and then I start taking like close-ups. So like here's one of the side of the flat lay, and then a couple of sides, and then the shoes, and then this thing. And so this is a 35. This is like as close as I can get to it and get a decent focus out of it. A couple more close-ups, and then I end up doing the rings later. So I'll just do the rings like this. I think I tried it at this wedding. Yeah, so this is with the extension tube on it and the 56 to get a more macro fill, but I probably won't use these photos. Thanks, I shoot with Fuji too, mainly use primes, but the 1.4s I was thinking getting, yeah. Sometimes the versatility of a zoom definitely helps. For example, when I shot the rehearsal dinner, having a zoom would have been nice, because I only had one XT30, and I brought my 23 and my 35, and it, you know, it worked, but it was just annoying. Because let's see what I did at this wedding. I don't think I did a macro shot at this one either. Wait, where'd the details go? There we go. So yet again, same process. Make my flat lay. Start out with the 23. Get a wide shot of the whole thing. Switch to the 35. And then start taking kind of closer detail shots. I always take both horizontal and vertical shots just to have them. And yeah, so here are the rings without macro. And I know it's not one of those like epic close-up macro shots, but I don't mind not having those. Sometimes it's kind of nice just to be able to see the whole ring and stuff. So yeah, I don't really have a good, I think the 80, I think it's the 80 is really good for macro stuff. What did I do at this wedding? I don't even remember shooting a flat lay at this wedding. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have so many weddings I have to edit. Where is this flat lay? Here we go. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make a video on flat lays, because I have a very like scavenger style to my flat lays. I know a lot of people who actually have like a box of things that they bring to help out with their flat lays, but that's just so much extra. And then yet again, shooting in New York, I've just found it easier not to have to carry too much, because you have limited time, you have limited space. And sometimes for New York weddings, I would actually take the subway trains to the wedding rather than like having to drive and deal with parking. So you just don't have a lot of stuff you can carry on you. So it's easier just to be like telling your client like, hey, make sure you have your stuff together, and then finding what you can on site. Yeah, a box of things. So like, I know photographers who, and it's really cool, I love it, and I'm extra impressed by it, but they'll have like a box of like this little like these, I don't know what to call it, like strings and things and different things that they can add to their flat lays. So they'll have a box of just a lot of that stuff, so that when they have a flat lay, rather than having to depend on what you can find, they just pull out some extra stuff and add it to the flat lay. Do you ever outsource your photo editing? No, not yet. I have not gotten there, but I might need to. This year is my first year shooting like 40 plus weddings, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle that. Ribbons, there you go, thank you. But yeah, they'll bring ribbons and stuff like that. But yeah, as of right now, I don't outsource, but I'm considering it, because, you know, I have a family, I have kids and stuff, and it's starting to get to the point where like, so I just did 7 weddings in a row, meaning like every weekend. It was like 6 weekends, so one weekend I had 2 weddings, and I've kept up with the weddings for the most part. But when I had that double, so 2 weddings in the one weekend, that threw off my whole process. So now, right now, I have 4 weddings that I haven't basically not edited at all. Actually, I need to call them. So I only finished 3 of those 7. Yeah. So I have 4 more now that I need to do. And I mean, my delivery time's like 4 to 6 weeks, so it's not bad. I'm not behind. But I just know, hey, Ben, what's up, man? I just know that with 4 weddings on deck right now, this weekend coming up, I don't have a wedding, but then it starts again. And I think I have another stretch of like another like 7 wedding stretch again. Let's see. So this weekend I'm off. Yep, and the next weekend I have a wedding. The weekend after that, I go to New York and have a wedding. I come back in the weekend after that and have another. Oh, and then I have a double header. So that's 2. And there's like 2 engagement sessions. Actually 3 within that time. And then the weekend after that, I have a wedding. So yeah, my next break isn't until June 15th. And that's another like 7 weddings and like 3 engagement shoots. So yeah, I'm really thinking about outsourcing. Because if I get to a point and I have 8 weddings and I've only done like a couple of them, yeah. Outsourcing like 1 or 2, I may think about it. I was not outsourcing and I got to a point where I was spending most of my weekends editing and that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's my fear, is getting to a point where like, because especially your weekend's already done because you're at a wedding. And then I don't want to be all week like, sorry family, I have to edit these photos all day, or either I have to stay up mad late and edit photos throughout the night and be tired all the time. So dang, yeah, I have to call all these weddings. I like totally forgot. This was like, out of the 4 weddings that I have to edit, this was the first one. And it hasn't even been called yet, so I have to like, yeah. After this stream, I'm about to call all my weddings. Yep. Marco knows the struggle. Yep. During the week, you have emails. You have to keep up with new inquiries. You have to keep up with the people you already booked and make sure everything's cool with them. You got to market yourself. You got to get on Instagram. You got to post stuff on Instagram. And then me doing the YouTube. That's what I was saying. Like, I posted on YouTube. Like, hopefully I'm going to keep having videos. But if I slow down, I'm sorry. Because, yeah, being like, oh, now let me go do an extra shoot randomly so I can do some extra YouTube stuff and have more photos I have to edit that technically don't even really matter towards the business. Yeah, it's so much. It is so much. So on this wedding, my second shooter also shoots Fuji, and she works. So my mentor, he has a group of us, so he also trains us. So she shoots with them, and oh, like this stuff is her. I just love when I have a second, and you can't really even tell like if that was me or if it was her. I love it. It's the best feeling when you go through your gallery and you're like, yes, I could have taken all these. It's almost like having 2 me. No one will ever know. Yeah, this was a dope wedding. It rained all day, the day before and the day of, but we still were able to get our everything outside, and it was just really awesome. So I needed to export these photos still, right? So this one I redid. I feel like there was something else I changed. I'm just gonna export all of them again. I love that. Did I shoot it or my second? Yep. When you get a second like that, it is like a dream. Especially if they work well with you too. Like, not even do their shots match, but like they're a great second. It is the best. Hey Rodney, you missed every. No, I'm just kidding. I was showing my process for choosing the, oh wow, my brain, I'm so tired of choosing photos for your preview for your couple after the wedding. So this wedding was on Saturday, so I got that preview down, and I've just been kind of culling photos and exporting stuff. Just overwrite all that. I'll get to see my export process again. I export my presets have no sharpening on them because Lightroom and Fuji sharpening are not friends. After that, I add the screen sharpening on export, and then I go into exposure 4 and add my sharpening in grain in there, which is what's happening now. So what's everyone else been up to? How's your year been so far? I want to hear some wins. Oh, my wife called me. I didn't even notice. 17 minutes ago. It was only once, so I guess it wasn't important. Have I ever used JPEG Mini? Yeah. For some reason, on the Windows side of my computer, because remember it's Windows and Mac, it doesn't want to load into Lightroom, so I have to use the standalone, which that's actually the last part of my exporting, is I take JPEG Mini and break down the files a little bit. So let's do this again. Sharpening in green. Then I have sharpening in grain for black and whites. Then for this photo, I'm gonna add my fake tilt shift again. To give the photo a little more oomph. Awesome. And then I save that. And then, yeah, after I do that, I throw it into the standalone. Here it is. JPEG Mini, yeah. As far as how many photos do I typically deliver, it's usually an average of 650. So it ranges between like 400 or 700 usually in there. Let's see. Then I find the folder of the couple with the sneak peek in it. And I usually take the whole folder and throw it in the JPEG Mini and then save my space, and then I can start posting from there. And then previews usually end up on my Facebook page. So that's my process for picking sneak peeks. Usually definitely something from the ceremony, any cute looks of the couple together, something with parents, maybe a detail or two, and then like 1 or 2 like epic shots like this one again with that whole wide look. I need to warm this photo up. Do you edit each one or just specific set? Yeah, so usually I cull first, and then I get down to my like 700-ish photos. And then after that, yeah, I edit all of them. So when I'm editing in bulk, right now what you're seeing, Darren, this is how I edit for sneak peeks. And you see it's kind of slow. And I keep going back and like second guessing myself on photos and stuff like that. Whereas when I'm editing in bulk, it's a very, very different process. usually I'm editing stuff for the scene and I'm going pretty quickly. I don't really have a good example of that right now, but you know, like all these photos right here were in the same spot. So because of that, the white balance is basically the same. So I'm just like editing one photo, copying the settings from that photo, and then pasting it on the rest of them, then adjusting a little bit to make sure it looked cool. And that's basically the whole process. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't. Yeah, I didn't call this one yet either. Oh look, and when your second shooter takes dope behind the scenes shots for you, look at that. So much good stuff. Oh, this shot's so cool. I could probably change it. Was it? I can't tell which way she shot it originally, but either way it works. I mean, I guess it's leaning kind of weird this way. It doesn't work that way. All right, folks. Well, that's it for me for now. I'm going to jump off and call some weddings. So thanks for hanging out, for checking out the sneak peeks. I think I'm going to start taking my live streams, and obviously when they're live, y'all can watch them. But for replays, I'm going to start putting that over on the Patreon. So then I can wow out more on YouTube, and then they won't hurt me. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for hanging out, guys. Hope you learned some stuff. And I'll be here always doing the stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Instagram or wherever, and I'll get back to you when I can. Check the video drop in either today or tomorrow. And if you have any suggestions for videos you want to see, just let me know. And I'll catch y'all next time. Oh, hold on. We got one more question. Edit people's faces with remove blemishes and stuff. I do, to a degree. I like to keep my photos natural. So I don't like to really, I like to call it like magazine editing. I don't do that like super portrait style editing. I keep it nice and clean. Anything that stands out is what I'll edit. So I don't think she has much going on her face. But I don't know if you noticed it earlier when I was editing some of these photos. But like here on her arm, like little things like that, if it stands out a little bit too much, I'll go ahead and get rid of it. Yeah, I did a little bit on her forehead, kind of. But I do keep it, I keep it more natural. But yeah, thanks again for hanging, guys, and I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks again, Muck, if you're still in there for the $12. It means a lot, and it helps the family. Because I don't know if y'all saw, but I have 2 kids, and I have one on the way in September, so, you know, I got a new baby. I got these babies to feed. All right, folks, I'll catch y'all next time.